this is a mood tracker that I've been looking forward to getting to. So the mood tracker tonight takes us to Fayetteville, Arkansas. Arkansas is one of our most loyal viewer bases on this entire show. We absolutely love the Arkansas Razorback fan base. We have not been to a game in Fayetteville. That's on us. That is a character flaw for the show. It's not their fault. It's our fault. It's not them. It's us. But let's talk about the mood tracker tonight. To be clear, this is just us taking a thermometer and sticking it right in the middle of the fan base. Not sure which orifice. Not important right now in the grand scheme of things. What is the temperature in Fayetteville, Arkansas? This program, this Arkansas program, is the poster child for why we do the mood tracker segment. And I'm going to tell you why. It helps to see things from the fan base's point of view, but it helps to see through one of the big lies in college football. We just talked about this 48 hours ago. One of the big lies, in fact, the biggest lie in college football is you are what your record says you are. Well, if you don't believe that, let's take a look at Arkansas. Arkansas, the you are what your record tells you are crowd, would classify as a 4-loss team. They just lost 4 games in the regular season. They finished 9-4. Now, 4 losses is nothing to write home about, right? I mean, that's a middle-of-the-road program. They don't take into account strength of schedule. They don't take into account program expectation level or where they are in the overall kind of arc of if you're building a program, if you've had sustained excellence already. There's a lot of context that has to be included after you give me your win-loss record. Not to mention, if you look at the schedule here on YouTube, you played Texas before Texas knew they were subpar. You played Georgia, you played A&M, you played Ole Miss, you played Auburn, you had to play Bama, at LSU. It's a ridiculous schedule. They went 9-4. Okay, but let's ignore all that. Let's just go back to the you are what your record says you are crowd. How do you square a 4-loss team with the mood around Arkansas? I went over on hogsports.com, hog with a W, earlier today, and I hit up our friends over there. And I said, you got to fill in the blank for me. You know the drill. My current mood towards Arkansas football is what? Now, these are not outsider opinions. These are the opinions of Arkansas fans. These are some of the answers I got. Excited, confident, electric, aggressive, optimistic. That one was too sexual. That one was too sexual. Okay, so the rest of them are too sexual. The point is, they're really, really excited in Fayetteville about the future of Arkansas football. I went 4 pages on that thread. I didn't get a single negative response. The worst was like cautiously optimistic. So you tell me, if you are what your record says you are, and this team just dropped 4 games, why is there unbridled excitement, the likes of which you only find normally in the corners of the SEC that rhyme with Buscaloosa and Fathens? It's because they know what they have. And I want you to think about the combination of what they have. Because they've got a combination of 3 things there in Arkansas. It's pretty rare. You don't find this very often in college football. They're getting what they want, with who they want, and they're doing it the way they want. How many programs can say that? In all of college football, how many programs can honestly say they're getting what they want, and they're doing it with who they want at the helm, and they're also doing it the way they want to? That's Arkansas football right now. You want to know why they're so excited? You want to know why the mood up there ranges from electric to optimistic to aggressive to some things I can't say on air? It's because they have all those 3 boxes checked. But here's what else you need to know. Because you may just live in St. Paul, Minnesota, and you're a Big Ten fan, and you've seen a couple Arkansas games, but you really don't get what all this noise about Sam Pittman and Arkansas. What is this all about? Well, I'll tell you. It's very much a case-by-case basis when a local fan base is excited about their program. Because sometimes it's pure bluster. You know, sometimes it's blind faith and it's just blind hope because what's the alternative? You know, so they know what the alternative is, and so they're just buying in, they're hoping against hope. This is not that. This is not blind confidence. The traction at Arkansas, the energy at Arkansas, it's real. And it's real. But the national public is going to be a long way behind the Arkansas fan base in realizing why. This is very much going to be a tail wagging the dog situation. Arkansas fans knew early on what they had. Arkansas folks know good and well what they have. And like I said, they got what they want, and they got who they want, and they're doing it the way they want. The rest of the country is going to be slow to come around, whether it be media or just casual college football fans, because of the unconventional nature of the hire. Most people, even though we're 3 years in now at this point, most people haven't gotten over Sam Pittman having an opportunity to be a head coach. Now, Arkansas fans actually may think I'm wrong about that, but I got a pretty good gauge on the rest of the nation. Believe it or not, There's some people who still aren't sold on Sam Pittman. You guys are, of course, as you should be. You're in Jonesboro, you get it. You're in, Tempe, Arizona, maybe not quite yet. Because Sam Pittman has never graced one of those head coaching power rating lists. Whenever you saw the hot candidates out there a few years ago when all those jobs were open, Sam Pittman's name wasn't on any of them. And yet, boom, he gets an SEC job. So the next thing people say is, well, he's obviously going to be overwhelmed. I mean, he's not even been a coordinator. What, an offensive line coach is going to go up against the likes of Nick Saban and who at the time, Ed Orgeron and Jimbo Fisher? Well, the answer is, yep, that's pretty much what he's done. Some of those coaches aren't around anymore. Sam Pittman is, and I think he will be for a while. They, at Arkansas, have something that's intangible in nature. So I'll try to explain it as best I can. Arkansas is going to continue to probably ascend because Arkansas is going to contend, I'll call them contenders. That's fine. So we'll go with that. Arkansas and Sam Pittman are going to continue to ascend because they're going to continue to have what I call the winning 10. You take everything it takes to win in college football. You take nutrition, strength and conditioning, the coaching staff, proper development, both neck up and neck down. Then you got to execute and you got to have good play calling. But even if you add all of those elements up, it only equals about 90%. There's this other 10% in this sport, and it bothers people so much. It bothers the stat crowd. They can't explain it because you can't quantify it. There is no metric you can put on it. But everybody who's played and everyone who's coached knows exactly what I'm talking about. There is something that makes up the final 10% of your program. It can be rotten or it can be golden. A lot of people think it's luck. It's not luck. It's why the same programs continue to seemingly get lucky and some other programs continue to suffer from bad luck. It's not luck. It's just not quantifiable. But there is an it factor in the way you go about building a culture. There's an it factor that is baked into the foundation on which your program's built. Arkansas's got it. So that final 10%, whatever that it is, they've got it at Arkansas. And it's not going anywhere because they're already in the building phase. They've already gotten past the foundation laying. Now we just kind of find out what house they're going to build on it. So if you wanted to know my mood on Arkansas, I would call it kind of dreaming but designing as well. Anybody can dream. The easiest thing in the world to do is have goals. Do you have a rock solid plan in place to achieve them? Like, do you have something that I could look at on a piece of paper and say, oh, actually, that makes sense? They've got that at Arkansas right now. And they're also a winner in the transfer portal. We did a segment earlier tonight. You know, when we do the final transfer portal winners and losers, I'm fully confident Arkansas is going to be on there because I don't really think they're done yet, to be honest with you. So I think that we're going to wait until post-spring to talk about them. But you look at the portal additions already on your screen right now. Drew Sanders was starting for Alabama last year. The only reason he's not starting there still is because he got banged up, and it just so happened that they had a complete freak by the name of Dallas Turner on the sideline and took his place. There's only one program in America where Drew Sanders would have lost his job and ended up transferring from, and that's Alabama. Arkansas got one of the better players in the country in Drew Sanders. Make no mistake about that. It's not spoiled or damaged goods or anything like that. It was a unique situation. Where did the kid choose to go? He didn't choose to go to one of the perceived perennial powerhouses. He went to Arkansas. Jaden Hazelwood could have gone a number of places. He went to Arkansas. A lot of those guys are choosing Arkansas. Coaches are choosing to remain at Arkansas. And look, even if and when they eventually lose some, that's going to be a destination, a very secret one. Like I said, the college football public's going to be slow to come around on Arkansas. That place is becoming a destination for players and for coaches. When you've got that in place, you've got that magic formula to finish that final 10% that it takes to be a long-term sustained winner in this sport. They've got it. And, Sam Pittman in the summer months, instead of going on the clinic circuit, he ought to just do final 10% talks. That's what he ought to do. Start a YouTube channel, Sam, if you need an extra $10,000 or $20,000 a year.